Aha, me hotties. A very good evening to you, Dinky-Doo. It's just me, Scottie McClue. And this is our Saturday evening phone in. A very, very warm welcome. Lovely to have you with us. And a massive Dinky-Doo. So good that we're all together again for 1 hour of superb, scintillating information, education, and entertainment, not just for one nation, but for all nations, of course. And Dinky-Doo. Dinky-Doo, I say to you, if you've just joined us, thank you very much. Do follow me as soon as you can and make sure you are subscribed. Very, very important that. Now, lots of you joining us. This is fantastic. I'll just get the chat ready. You might see some strange angles tonight, I could say to you. But we'll get the chat ready and then we can see what is what. Fantastic stuff. Hello, Scottie. How are we? Dinky-Doo, Kareem, lovely to have you with us. What's the subject of the debate tonight? Well, we have many, many subjects for debate tonight, so I hope you will be joining in them and hearing what is what. Now, lots and lots to discuss. Did you know that Vladimir Putin is an old man? There we are. Well, I don't think he's very fit for his age. Let's just say that. Fantastic stuff. And we'll see what's going to happen there. Very interesting. Do you think that Boris will be resigning anytime soon? I actually don't. I think he will tough it out. It's as simple as that. But do come and join us, of course. We're still discussing the cyclists. Should we ban cyclists on the road at rush hour? Very, very important as well. Now then, what are you lot saying? Take the bonnet off, Scottie. No, Alan, you should know by now the bonnet does not come off. Now, I've posted lots of new videos for you on both YouTube and TikTok, so you should be enjoying them immensely. That's what it's all about, I say. Fantastic stuff. And what else can I tell you? Still big negotiations going on about going back on the radio. So who knows what may come of that. Fantastic. Good evening, Scottie. I need to tell you something on the telephone. It's important regarding the NHS and dentistry. Yes, all right. Well, we'll open up the lines and then we can see what is what. Fantastic stuff. So you should be able to call in now. There we are. Excellent stuff. Here's somebody calling us as we speak. Hello, you're live in Scottie's phone in. Who's that?
Scottie, it's Kareem.
Kareem, how fantastic to hear you. How are we?
I am well, Scottie. How are you?
Yes, excellent. Are the pictures looking okay tonight, Kareem? Because you're a very good judge.
I've got you on my screen on my TV. I've got you on my phone and TikTok and jumping to YouTube on my phone as well.
Excellent. And it's looking okay.
Everything's fine. Hear you crisp clear.
Wonderful stuff. That's what we like. Thank you. Now, lovely to hear you. Top of the evening to you, Scottie. We're getting lots of messages here. We should do just what they've done in London and have Pacific cycle lanes. Dinky-Doo Scotland. Dinky-Doo Scottie love from Coat Bridge. What about that, Kareem? Never a dull moment.
There we go, Scottie. Things have been quite interesting all week, Scottie. When I was in work, some of the kids were actually quite concerned about Russia and potential war.
Yes.
And I informed them and I said nothing is going to happen. I don't see anything at all. My catchphrase is, it's boys with toys.
Yes, good one, Kareem. Yes, very reassuring to the young generation. A lot of saber rattling going on, I say.
Well, Scottie, I mean, on TikTok, you read a lot of you have a very big American following on TikTok, and they have been brought up with certain beliefs, and we don't need to go into that.
No.
And they'll leave comments regarding that. But Russia, to me, is just, it was on a radio show, and they were discussing that Russia will win either way because they're going to negotiate and they're going to get something out of negotiation. Now, if they didn't move the troops there, they would have got nothing. So they're going to come away with something rather than nothing. So at the end of the day, Russia are the winners, but there isn't going to be a war.
No.
And it's what the president said earlier on, that economically it would be absolutely disastrous and it would collapse Russia. It would really destroy them financially. So I really do not think anything's going to come of this.
You have absolutely hit the nail on the head. It's a fantastic piece of PR from Russia's point of view, because they've got the saber rattling as the hard man of the world, and then also, you know, they're able to open up negotiations.
Yes. And a second thing, Scottie, I'm not going to stay too long because I know you'll have a lot of callers tonight, just once a week. But as you know, just now with the Scottish government, the ministers are now researching and putting information towards IndyRef 2.
Yes.
And what I found quite interesting earlier on was I made a comment and I've been slaughtered for it. I don't know how many ways I could rephrase it. And I've spoken to you about this before.
You don't have to rephrase anything, Kareem. You'll find if you're getting slaughtered for your comments, either it's because they're excellent comments or people just don't understand them.
Well, I've said that in 2014, not directly in a general election, but the people of Scotland voted Conservative to be part of a Conservative United Kingdom.
Yes.
Conservative policies. Now, the amount of people can say, I've never voted, Scotland's never voted, and they're right, Scotland directly has never voted that, but indirectly they have in 2014.
Yes.
What I find quite interesting as well, Scottie, is you can tell that the Unionists are quite, as we say up here, quite feared of what's happening, because I had one person sending absolutely every article possible. Now, I did read through the articles because I thought, right, I'm in the bath, so I've got nothing else to do. But it was quite interesting because it was all one-sided. It was meant to be very academic, and I thought if this was a student putting this in, it would be a fail.
Yeah.
So I quite politely said that it's quite interesting that they're getting Unionist propaganda and sending that out, and that's fine. But I do think the fear's coming in from down south. I really do think that's happening.
Well, of course it is. You see, Kareem, if Scotland does go its own way, then, you know, so much money is going to come out of the United Kingdom. Now, we're being told absolute whoppers. We're being told that employment has gone up when employment has actually gone down.
Well, correct, Scottie. They keep going about the gears, fingers, the figures, sorry. They talk about the Barnett formula. All these things have been talked down but ignored. And I just think people have to wake up. I mean, this article...
But you see, the formula should be the other way. Scotland should be deciding how much it sends to Westminster.
Yes.
So we need to, even say we're still in the Union, we need to take back control of the Scottish bit of the Union. That's what the Scottish Parliament's about. And instead of having a Scottish Parliament but still tying ourselves to the Barnett formula, we need to say we're going to have to scrap Barnett and start putting in our own formula.
Well, it's outdated, that formula. And
yes.
It's been proven. That article that was sent to me by this unionist, but the heading in itself said that if Scotland goes independent, it will be 3 times worse than Brexit put upon Scotland. And I read through that article, and everything about it was Scotland bad. It was all assumptions.
Yes, because you see, what nobody wants to admit, there is no case for the Union. There wasn't a case for the Union in 1707. So it was just blustered and busted through.
Yes.
You see, so there's never been a case for the Union. There still isn't a case for the Union. Nobody has ever made a case for the Union.
Well, someone came up with this was an academic answer. People have comments at the bottom. People are talking about, look at Malta. Malta's doing quite okay.
Yes.
Since it's left under the UK rule. And they were talking about that to get back, you won't be back in Europe because you need a certain, I've forgotten the name of it, a borrowing deficit, etc. But this leading economist said that if you have a recovery plan, then that's good enough because there's plenty of countries. You look at Greece and how much debt they were in, but they were still allowed to come into the EU. So I think there's going to be a lot more scaremongering coming in the
Oh, there'll be stacks of scaremongering because fear is a way to rule the people. But if you make sure, as in Scotland, you say, well, we're not feared.
Yes.
You know, we're not feared.
The last thing, Scottie, is that I'm hearing again, and it's been in the media briefly, that we have one of the worst pensions in the whole world.
Yes, we do.
But we've got unionists still sticking up for it. Whatever information, whatever the figures they've shown, they're saying that we don't. But there's plenty of information to show that we do have one of the worst pensions.
We have a dreadful pension set up, Kareem. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. And this shows you how naive I am, Scottie. I actually did not know that once you retired, you're still paying tax.
Oh, of course. If, listen, say you, for instance, in your profession, you retired, but you carried on working, you're going to get hit for tax. Big style. You know? So it's, there's no rest for the good, as they say. They should say there's no rest for the wicked, but we're not wicked. We're good. So there's no rest for the good guys, and that, to me, is a shame.
Yes, well, Scottie, that was all I wanted to bring up tonight. But as I finish off, as I said, with Russia, I generally don't think anything's going to happen.
No.
I think it's just boys with toys, and financially, they're struggling. I mean, if they do anything, they are going to be hit financially, and they're not in a position.
I think you can't, Kareem, even envisage anything happening there. Because if you did, then it would be the end for us all.
Well, Putin said in an interview earlier on that he used to threat nuclear war, and when you read the comments again, and I agree, that's cowardly, and that means everybody loses. So that's to me, he knows he's not going to win, so he's just.
Well, no, because there are no winners in war. We need to try and get that across to us. The only people who would say they've won are these, multi-billionaires who come in on both sides with shares for armaments.
Correct. Well, they're the winners. And, well, Scottie, from the beginning of man, there's always been a war somewhere.
Yeah.
When we speak just now, there's a war going on and someone getting very rich out of it.
Yes. Well, you see, the Scots used to do it. I mean, one night they rode over from the borders and set Dumfries on fire. So the next night, this is all the old border wars. So the next night they rode over and laid waste to Penrith. You see, so they kept on burning each other's places. Now, that's not really the best way to look after your assets. And this was what was wrong at the time of the Union. There'd been so much war in Scotland that the aristocracy were bust. They'd also been fighting each other with the clan wars. You see, so they were bust, so they were readily bribable, shall we say. You know, and they did it. They talk about we're bought and sold for English gold, but it was actually siller. It was silver that was traded, and Scotland was sold for, I can't remember what it was, a couple of grand or something, you know, when you tot it up.
There's still some traits of that today, Scottie, the way that people still turn. And what I'm really annoyed, and I've spoken to you about this before, Scottie, because you see that with the things that's happening down at Westminster with the scandals and everything that goes on. But a lot of people up here, that's fine, that's Westminster. But if that was our Scottish government, if that was the Scottish Parliament,
there would be hell on.
Yeah, but why is that allowed to happen? That should not happen. That's double standards.
Well, I think, we have got double standards. I think that's the whole thing. You see, it's what you've got to ask yourself is how real is democracy? Because when I was saying Brexit was a mess, they're saying, so you're not a fan of democracy, Scottie? I said, well, let's examine democracy here. You've got, what had we got? 7 million people, I think, dictating to 70 million people. Once you stripped everything out. Now, that's not democracy. You'd over 50 million Remainers walking about. So it's not really democracy to take 70 million people or just under it out of Europe.
It's kind of the same with democracy. If you look at, I was thinking about this earlier on, look at Westminster. It's the same with America. It's always a two-horse race. It's either going to be Tories or the odd time Labour coming in. And that's what I think is good about our Parliament, but we do have the PR system to make it more representative across society.
Yes.
People have their views. So that will never happen down south because Tories or Labour wouldn't want to have that. But if Labour are smart, I think that's probably going to be the only way. If they ever do get into power, they should implement that as a security blanket for the future.
Yeah, but you look at what happened. We had over 300 MPs in Scotland at the time of the old Scottish Parliament, pre-1707. And then the Union dictated that the Scots could send 45 members to Parliament and 15 to the House of Lords.
Right.
Now, come on, Kareem, you know.
Well,
there's a wee loss of influence there, isn't there?
Well, I don't know the American term. Is it gerrymongering?
Gerrymandering.
Sorry.
Gerrymandering, when what you get is you get everybody to move into the area and then they all vote the same.
Well, I think that's happening again because as far as I know, Boris is doing that just now. And I think the next general election, and let's hope we won't have a next general election because we'll be on our way out, but there'll be even less Scottish MPs going down to Westminster. Now, how that's representing a whole country, I don't know. If it was the other way around, I'm sure our neighbours down south would have something to say about that.
Yeah, well, what you've got to do, you've used a very interesting term there, a country. You'll hear the politicians talk about this is a great country. What country are they talking about? There's a choice of 4.
Correct.
You see, so they need to look at that. Also, they need to stop talking about things like the Scottish administration, or they become the English administration.
Correct. Yes.
You know, so it's that all that jargon and stuff has to be stripped out, and we need to start telling the truth.
But Scotty, there's arrogance though, and you see that with them how they look upon Scotland. And,
yes.
When you listen to the Prime Minister's question times or anything, it is honestly like a pantomime. It's quite embarrassing to see grown adults acting in that manner.
Yes, it is. But it always has been, because it's always been the sort of rough-looking common room from an English public school.
Correct, yeah.
You know, it's a sort of extension of that, if you like. Yeah. And that's not how we do business. You look at the Scottish Parliament, it's ordered, it's polite, there's respect and reverence for certain people in there, and then there's polite applause or raucous applause, depending on what's been decided.
Correct. It's more civilised, although I do worry at times the way certain party leaders and party members act and how they show aggression.
Yes.
It's quite alarming when you see that. However, Scotty, I don't want to say
excellent.
There's going to be a lot of other callers.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
We have lots to get through tonight, and as always, Kareem, a great privilege hearing you and Dinky-Doo, sir.
Dinky-Doo, Scotty. Bye now.
All the best, Kareem. Thank you. There we are. That's our Kareem quality chat, I say. Very, very good indeed. Thank you very much, Kareem. Very much appreciated. Who do we have here? I've got so much to read to you, actually. Now then. You're live in Scottish Phone In. Who's that?
Evening, Scotty. It's me, Glenn.
Oh, Glenn, how lovely to hear from you. Dinky-Doo.
Well, basically, Scotty, you know, my little, what I told you about, dentist and NHS.
Yes.
I came down on Tuesday from West Midlands to go to football with my mum.
Yeah.
To go and watch the football. We were walking down to the Sheffield Wednesday ground. All of a sudden, my mum goes smashing to pavement.
Oh, no.
Smashed all the teeth open.
For goodness sake.
Cut all the mouth open, Scotty. But listen to this. She still goes to the football game. Crazy.
She's got your spirit, hasn't she? You've got her spirit.
Scotty, I was looking out for my mum's best interest.
Of course.
I says, the best thing for you to do is go and get some help from one of the other supporters in the stadium says to her, Linda, go and get some help from her first aid.
Yeah.
I'm not getting no help. Crazy guy.
Crazy stuff. Oh my goodness.
Ridiculous. Scottie, so to try and make things a lot easier, I rang my family up, I rang my auntie up, and she says she's in a perfectly good situation. There's nothing wrong with her. Would you have had a checked out, Scottie, there and then?
Oh, I think so, absolutely, yes. I think I most definitely would.
Is there anything wrong with looking out for your mum when they've done all help for you when you've been brought up as a kid?
It's just very strange. What do you do?
Scottie, I mean, she was in treatment. So then it comes to the day after.
Yeah.
I phoned the paramedics up. They came to the house.
Yeah.
She even turned them away. So what can you do, Scottie?
What can you do?
Scottie, prideness comes before a fall, doesn't it?
Pride comes before a fall, bless her.
Scottie, I mean, I tried to do my best, but she just refused it point blank.
How can that have happened?
There's all part there, isn't there?
Yeah, she's a character though.
So then we went set off. We booked it. We couldn't get because she's at an older age. She's in her 70s and all that.
Yeah, of course.
I tried to find some free treatment online, to see whether she'd be entitled to like any X-rays.
As you do.
Treatment.
As you do, yeah.
So we went to Rotherham General Hospital because that was the nearest hospital that dealt with it. Sheffield wouldn't do it.
Right.
She was waiting in Rotherham NHS 7 hours and still didn't get seen. 7 hours, Scottie, and all the thing they can say is there's more pressing matters. I appreciate that NHS has got certain emergency.
Yeah, but no, everybody's entitled. Everybody is entitled.
Exactly, Scottie, and the only thing they could say, if somebody else comes in later, you'll get pushed back at queue. Yeah,
well, there is a bit of that, but A&E, once they do get to you and they take you, you are the most important person in the world.
There were about 20 odd people in A&E at that time, Scottie, and you can appreciate how far Rotherham is from Sheffield.
What time are you talking, did you say?
We got there for about we got a taxi to Rotherham General at 1
right.
o'clock.
1 o'clock.
And then she were in the Well 7, and she says, as soon as it comes to this, I came back for her at 7 because I couldn't go in, because of COVID and everything.
Yeah.
And then I goes to reception. She phoned my auntie back up and she says, as soon as Glenn gets back to hospital, I'm going. She won't wait any longer.
Right.
So it's a case of, I went to reception part of the hospital and I says, how far is she going to be now? They said, oh, she'll be seen next. She won't have it, Sky. She just went and she says, I'll just get some treatment from another dentist somewhere else. Disgusting, isn't it?
It's crazy stuff. Will you do us a favour there? You tell her Scottie McClue's asking for her.
I definitely will, Scottie, yes.
Because she was a big listener, wasn't she?
She's listening now, yes, Scottie.
Hey, I'll say dinky-doo to you, lovey.
Scottie, it's Linda, yes, Scottie.
Linda, you look after yourself.
Scottie, these women are too proud, aren't they?
Well, quite right, because they come from a strong generation.
Do you think that's what? There's nothing wrong with crying out for a little bit of help.
No, there isn't. But she's a tough cookie, our Linda.
So she's just got. Hopefully, she's going to get registered with a dentist, and
she'll get sorted out because the dentists are very good, and they will be able to tell her what the state of everything is. And then, refer her. She'll have to get maybe have to go to a GP to get referred to the hospital. She needs further treatment.
Exactly, Scott.
But you've got to watch because you don't know what's broken and all that. You know what I mean?
You don't, Scottie, do you? I mean, like nobody's invincible, Scottie, are they?
None of us are invincible. That's the stuff. But you tell her every strength to her.
When we take a knock, Scottie, we have to. Be cautious, don't we?
Oh, yeah, you've got to look after yourself, Glenn.
Scottie, I mean, like I said, we think we're immortal, we think we're invincible, don't we?
No, nobody's invincible. And you take a tumble like that. What had happened is she just tripped on pavement.
She basically was walking too fast and just pounced over kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like tripped over. And only thing she could say is, I'm struggling to football match and everybody in stadiums going, what the...
And
it's good.
yeah.
Can you go in a football stadium when all your mouths all smashed, all your teeth are all smashed in, Scotty?
Well, she didn't want to miss the game, you see.
Scotty, I'd have put my health and my teeth and all my injuries.
Yeah, you think I'll have to go? I think we're going to have to miss this match. I'll need to get to E&E. But then that's our Linda, you see. You know what I mean? And you know that.
Scotty, but it's frustrating though, isn't it?
It's frustrating for you as her son when you're saying, look, Mum, here's what's happening. She's saying, no, you don't tell me what's happening. I tell you.
Scotty, that's putting it kindly, not in obviously a little bit of effing and you know what.
Yeah, a little bit of that. A little bit of the old effing and jeffing.
Yeah, Scotty, I mean, are you a proud person, Scotty, with things like that?
Am I a proud person? Well, no, if I thought, no, listen, I think I've done a bit of damage here, I'll have to sort it because you don't want other damage.
Exactly. You think you put everything into perspective then, don't you?
Yeah. Can I ask the TikTokers, can you hear us okay now, guys?
Scotty, you've got to weigh everything up, haven't you? You've got to look at what's more important.
Of course you have, absolutely.
Because, I mean, you see all these people out there, and you're not laughing at. She seems to. Only thing she was more concerned about is what people are thinking about her.
No, never mind that. That's what we do. That's again proud generation. Don't show us up in the street.
Don't show me up. I want to get up quick.
Yeah, we don't want to showing up now. Stop it.
People are showing concern. That's all they're showing.
Of course they are, absolutely. And you've told her that, and she knows that.
She knows that, but her pride comes before that.
Right. But she's the most important person, and I want you to tell her how much you love her.
Yeah.
And how much you appreciate her, and you understand.
And everybody else in family appreciate it.
Everybody else in family, and how much Scottie McClue and all the listeners and viewers do.
Exactly, Scott.
Yeah. Now you're talking. Absolutely, la. Glenn, how's the little one doing?
Yeah, she's doing fine, thanks.
Good. And love to you and the little one and to your missus.
And you, Scotty, and I'm thinking about you.
Oh, we're grand, la, and we'll catch up soon, you and I.
Yes, Scotty, and I appreciate all your support anyway. And,
well, you're a top man. You're one of us. And Dinky-Doo, la. What a fabulous guy. That's our Glenn from Sheffield. There. His mum took a tumble. And we've only got one mam, so you need to look after your mam, I always say. Very, very important. Right. Let's find out what's happening here. Lots and lots of you. Lots of reaction from you. And I want to say, Scotty, you need to get an electric fan in the room. You're going to pass out. I know, Charlie. Greetings, Scotty, from a warm Brooklyn. Get the jacket off, man. I don't think it'll come off now. Scotty, I know you can't play on YouTube, but if you get a spare moment, say into your Alexa, play Scottie McClue. The Only Way Is Up by Stornoway acoustic version. We love all that. Right, lots of reactions from you guys. You're live on Scotty's phone in. Who's that?
It's David. How are you?
David, how are you doing, lad? Now, David, I'm going to explain something to you because I know you sounded a bit confused the last time. We do have freedom of speech on here. Do you remember? Now, please don't repeat it. But do you remember you said something? And I said, you can't say that. And you said, I've said it. It was, right, it was a bridge too far. And I have to then edit it all out at the end. But you see, but I didn't want you getting anxious. But there's certain things so we can say we do have freedom of speech, but we can't say, we can't make something up, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I'm just a formal. Anyway, I love your striped jacket.
Oh, do you like my striped jacket? I'm roasting hot tonight. I think I'll need to.
Can you stand up? I want to see your striped jacket. Stand up.
Stand up. I can't stand up, but there's my jacket.
Lovely.
It's a cracker. So that was the only thing I was telling you, David. So you're not in the doghouse, but I just thought I need to tell David. You like it, son?
Beautiful. We Glenn's mum fell in her face.
Aye, she fell in her face going to the football. She's a big Sheffield Wednesday fan. She fell in her face. She smashed all her teeth, he tells me, and then she insisted in going to the game.
It's a shame of it, man.
son, it's mad, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. David, can you give me 2 seconds? Because I don't want to neglect our beautiful TikTokers. And they're saying, England politics are like watching kids on a playground. So there what Renee says, hi Scottie, I still fancy you. Thank you. Hard decision, buddy, says George. What's the picture of the boats? Yes, that's some of our old boats there. And George has sent me a red rose. Somebody said there's no sound coming through. Everybody says it's loud and clear. I used to listen to your radio show in the swinging 90s. You're loud and clear, Scottie boy. Good luck to Glenn's mum. Scottie tells it how it is. Direct to ear callers. Well done, Scottie. So there you are. That's you up to date with that lot. I haven't even started on all the lovely comments on the chat here.
Good son.
So
well
there's
done.
Andrew.
You're the man.
You're the man, David. And I just thought I'll need to just tell David what I was meaning there, because you sounded a wee bit shocked, you know.
So normal, we can talk all the time.
Oh.
I know I could be a bit of formal sometimes, you know.
No, you're absolutely fine. You're absolutely fine. It's just all I was saying to you, we can't sort of make things up, if you know what I mean.
That Nina.
Oh, now you are talking. What is she like in Emmerdale? She's back. Oh, she's bonkers, I shall tell you. I don't know what she's planning, but it's frightening me.
Well, it's coming in Monday night.
And she's been sneaking into the vets and sort of, you know, she's been sabotaging Don's work.
Yeah, she's got a gun. Because she got a big gun.
Oh, has she got a gun?
She's got a gun on my
Oh, for goodness sake, man.
Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, she got a gun. She's going to kidnap a few of them.
Oh, no.
Seriously. But she's brilliant. She's a great actress.
Well, she is a great actress, absolutely, you know, and I mean, I think that's what it's about, you know. And she's a bonny lass, but the only trouble is she plays it so well.
Oh, she's a Scarlet Pimpernel, man.
I'll tell you why I'm hot tonight, David. I've got a radiator beside me and it's roasting.
You doing that? You keep bending down.
I keep bending down to give myself a wee wipe down.
A wee wipe down, son. Yeah, of course.
Look at this, David. We used to have some laughs on your radio show back in the day. When are you back in radio, Scottie? Any news? Andy, we're in negotiations and don't be surprised if I'm back within a couple of months.
All right.
So I wanted you to know as well, David, you know. Because you have to watch you don't get egg in your face by saying, oh, I'll be back in the radio, and then it doesn't happen. But there's a lot of talk at very senior level. They've just had all their audience figures, and of course they know that Scottie McClue is your man, you know. I take your bun off. Why would you take your bun off? That's like Sooty turning round to Harry Corbett and saying, get your horn out. That's wonderful stuff. That's like Basil Brush saying to Derek Fowles, get your hand out. Do you remember Basil? Now, did you know this? Basil Brush was on with Mr. Derek. Mr. Derek, remember he used to go, hey, oh, Mr. Derek, boom, boom. Now, Mr. Derek was Derek Fowles. Yeah, now, Orville, do you remember what, there was Keith and Orville, and then there was, what was the boy on Michael Parkinson with Rod Hull and Emu? He died, Rod died. I was up on the roof and he fell off. Absolutely. Emu. Do you remember Emu with Michael Parkinson?
Oh, yes, and he was biting his face in the chair.
I had about the chair and everything, just over the top nonsense. You never know what's going to happen, you know what I mean?
And that pure Emu's in the chair now because his partner died. If you have a roof, you know what I mean?
I did, he did. Poor old Rod, yeah.
Oh,
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, there we are. Here's David telling us, wait to hear this, Davy. Here's Derek Fowles start in Heartbeat. And Derek Fowles was in Yes Minister. He was Bernard, the young civil servant.
Yes,
And then,
I remember that.
yes, and his face went craggy, and he suddenly looked a lot older, and he became Oscar Blaketon, Sergeant Blaketon in Heartbeat.
Right, heartbeat, why do you
La 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 la, and that was great on a Sunday night. And I love that actor that plays Lord Ashfordley. Lord Ashfordley, look here.
I mean, you went all Supergran.
Supergran, yes, Gudrun Ur, she was fantastic. I appeared on a show with Supergran. Supergran. Would you come dancing, Scottie, says JD. JD, yes, absolutely, JD. JD, are you a photographer? Tell me. There we are. There's Joey sending us likes. Never a dull moment on here, Davey, I'll tell you. It's been fun. And listen, how's John keeping?
He's a wee bit up and down, Scott.
Aha.
John's taking, he's getting confused.
Right.
You know, and I'm trying to take him to the doctors, etc.
Aye.
Anyway, he's all right. I've got on some medications.
Good for you, yes. Look after each other.
Don't get swing moods. You get swing moods.
Aye, absolutely.
You know, and I just think, right, calm down, you're all right. You
Yeah.
know what I mean, I'm here for them.
You should say to him, John, you're swinging more than Glenn Miller.
He's my carer and I'm his carer.
Aye, you look after each other. It's lovely. Well, give him a big hug from all the people. No, listen, Davey, it's lovely to hear you. And Dinky-Doo.
Brilliant, Dinky-Doo.
Top man. Dinky-Doo, that's your Davey. What a great character, my goodness me. Right, to the telephones as quickly as we can. Bring back Heartbeat, says Susan. 50 pence in the meter, Scottie. We can't see you. Who's can't see us, Andrew? There we are. Andrew says he can't see us. Can everybody see Scottie McClue? It should be all right, I say to you, Dinky-Doo. I can't believe we've been up for almost 40 minutes. So there we go. Now, lots and lots of feedback from you here. What have we got here? Would you go on Come Dancing? Follow us on the TikTok, please, all you beautiful TikTokers. Very, very important. And what have we got here? Oh, I see what you're saying, Andrew. Yes, I see exactly what you're saying. What's happened is I've had to move things about tonight because I'm not in my normal place. So that's what's happening. So you might not see as much of me as you would like to. Ian Cuthbertson was the baddie in Supergran. Alex, you're quite right. Ian Cuthbertson, what a fabulous actor, big Ian. There we are. It's not working properly. When you type, the video stops. Oh, wow. I wondered. I don't know what's causing that. That might be something at your end, Alex. There you are. Will you still do the YouTube if you go back on the radio? Well, I think if we go back on the radio, we'll maybe start off, I don't know, say for talking's sake, doing a Sunday night live on radio, if that's of any interest, and build that up. And our Saturday nights we could still do on the YouTube, if you're up for that, guys. Open the windows, Scottie. I've just put the heater off. So there we are. So it should calm down a wee bit. Hello, Scottie and everyone. Hello, Gary Dinky-Doo. That's better, Scottie. Is that better, Andrew? You can see a lot more of me now. Good evening, Scottie. Good evening, Kenneth. How lovely to have you with us. And Dinky-Doo. Can everybody share? I was sure I had a machine there I could share with everybody. I don't know what I've done with it. Oh, yes. Here it is here. So what I might do, guys, is share the YouTube. And if you can all share the YouTube, subscribe as well, please. Very, very important. Good evening from the Highlands, says Kara. Kara, lovely to have you with us on the old TikTok there, and a good evening to you. Mike J says good evening. Good evening, Mike. Lovely to have you with us. So what I've got here, I've got another device, and I'm going to see if we can share the YouTube. because a lot of people don't know that the internet phone-in's on yet. There we go, and you need to know it's on. Evening, Scottie. Good evening to you. Poor Glenn Miller, a victim of, this is interesting, poor Glenn Miller, a victim of British friendly fire. Yes, I do believe the real story was that he was flying in a light aircraft and the RAF were returning from a bombing raid and they'd been told to jettison some of their bombs, and one of them had hit the light aircraft. It hadn't exploded, I don't think, it just brought it down. Right, what's going on here? You're live on Scottish Phone In. Who's that?
Scottie, it's me, myself, and...
Ah, Professor Numptyhead. How are you tonight?
The three wise numptyheads.
The three wise Numptyheads. We love it.
Absolutely.
Now, what are you thinking? How's everything looking tonight? Because you're quite good as a connoisseur.
Well, can we get the formalities done first?
Yes, let's do the formalities, I always say.
Right, so what happens now? Do you say it's great to be here, or do you say thanks for having me on, or what?
Oh, you don't need to worry about any of that. You don't need to thank me at all. I thank you. You were one of the ones that pushed me towards bringing the phone in the first place. Kara's a new sub to YouTube. Fantastic. Isn't modern technology wonderful, Scottie? I think it's brilliant.
Absolutely. Now, Scottie, did you know that it's great being a picnic shot of a hamper?
Did I what say again?
Did you know it's great being a picnic shot of a hamper?
A picnic shot of a hamper, is that you?
Well, that's one of the qualifications you need being an umpty.
Being an Numptyhead, fantastic.
Now that I'm back again to nip your heat.
Yes, you can nip my heat as much as you like. I'm sharing you on YouTube as we speak.
Indeed you are. I'm a very busy man, you see.
You see, you're very, so I'm saying live now
I'm here with mere intelligent gossip.
at 21:46. Right, let's have it. There you go. I'm going out now. Right. You're getting shared right now onto, let me see if I get this right. You're getting shared on the YouTube. So you should see that coming up live on the YouTube right now. There you are. Right. Okay. And I'm just going to check that it's there. And it is there. As you see, new technology again. We're moving on all the time, Numptyhead.
Absolutely. Now listen, I'm still resting in peace, Scottie. I've been here all week. I've never moved.
You've not done a thing this week.
No, I've had the fear. I've been resting in peace all week.
Have you still had did you tell me you'd had the COVID?
No, Scottie, no me here. It wasn't me.
It wasn't you, it must have been somebody else was telling us last week that they'd been in with it.
Aye. Now listen, can I tell you...
Lots of people have subscribed on the YouTube tonight. I am chuffed.
It's made my day as well, Scottie. Now,
Chuffed. What are you saying?
I'm saying, will you listen for a change?
For a change? Why would I listen to you for a change?
What I'm saying is, I can't stand people who like to be early, Scottie. They're just time wasters.
Now, what do you mean by that? Because this is interesting.
Well, they just sit there and do nothing for early. They're just wasting time. They're no
So you're saying the kind of people you say, could you pop round about 7 o'clock and at 6:45 you get a knock on the door?
Aye, but then it's what do they do for 15 minutes? They do nothing.
You show them into the front room.
Aye, but listen, Scottie.
Aye.
People that are late, they're more reliable because if you're late, you don't hang around and you just go on with the job. You don't go sitting about for 15 minutes.
Well, as you know, I'm never late. I mean, sometimes the internet's a wee bit early.
What do you mean the internet's a wee bit early?
Well, it's just sometimes it just comes up a bit sharp, doesn't it?
And I've got one more point to make, Scottie.
All right.
And this is the most important point.
Right, okay.
It's the game shows again. You know, these you get 30 seconds on the clock to answer as many questions as you can. Why does each question that the presenter asks have to be 7 or 8 seconds long? long. You only got about 3 questions in the 30 seconds.
That's correct. And what is the problem with that?
Well, they're going to win money. You're not going to win much money if the presenter takes ages slurring on their words, because see, during these commercial breaks, they're
Yes.
for a break, all right.
Listen, I'll tell you where we're spoiled. And the man that died this week, Bamber Gascoigne, he was outstanding.
Oh, that's sad. I heard that. I like him.
He was excellent.
University Challenge, you know.
I'll bet you watch University Challenge.
Well, believe it or not, Scotty, I nearly made that show, but I got the wrong tune.
All right.
It was supposed to be in Newcastle under Lyme. Well, I ended up in Newcastle upon Tyne.
Oh, for goodness sake, numpty. An easy mistake to make. Newcastle under Lyme. It is that's Staffordshire, isn't it?
Well, I don't know. I didn't have a sat that back then.
Yes, I think, and then of course Newcastle upon Tyne. That's Newcastle. That's no far for you.
I thought it was awfully cheap to get there, you know.
I done the A1.
I thought, here awfully quick, then I realised I was in the wrong city. So there we are.
So
anyway,
that's what's been happening.
Scotty, listen.
Yes.
Did you know that this nutty Professor Lumpy is
Yes.
so intelligent?
Yes.
I made a discovery.
Well, what have you been up to now?
Well, you know how binary codes 0s and 1s?
Yes. Here's a beauty. David says you show them into the parlour if they're early.
I haven't got the parlour yet.
And there's a Hibernian that says, woo. And there's hello from Helensburgh, Scotty.
Right. Can I tell you about my discovery, Scott?
Your discovery, yes. I think you're going to anyway.
Aye, well, you know how binary codes in 0s and 1s?
Yes.
Well, I've went and discovered 1s and 2s.
Ah.
And you know how?
Go on.
Well, I discovered, as soon as I realised the equations, I had to get the pen out and I had to write on 4 words.
Well, you see, we're actually binary in our answers. I used to shout to my dad, do you want chips? And he would say, I 1 or 2. So I says, well, make up your mind.
I've had my eureka moment.
Hey, listen, Nupty, what about this? This just shows how far your influence goes, right? Right, listen to this. Here's Chris. Scotty, I was listening back to your calls whilst having an MRI scan. It's far better than the classical music they give you to listen to.
Marvellous.
Isn't that wonderful? So somebody's having an MRI scan, a tough time in their life, and they're listening to Scottie McClue.
Indeed, indeed.
There you are. What about this one? Wait till you hear this. This is Anita, and Anita's in California. And she says, good evening, what's new with you? Celebrating St. Valentine's Day here in sunny California. May I ask you to be my Valentine if you're not taken? Anita, what a princess you are.
You'll have to get over there quick, Scotty, if you want to be our Valentine.
Get her to California, eh?
Unless it's West Lothian.
But numpty he'd, not California and West Lothian, California and Falkirk.
Well, that's West Lothian.
We're not too far away. But listen, do you not think it's incredible that here are you and I talking live across the internet and we're chatting away to Anita in California?
Aye, but what Anita doesn't ken, I'm surprised that me and you are still talking because I've not been cut off.
Oh, I see, right. I'll cut you off the new prof. No problem. There we are. He's away. It's been a tricky time, Scotty. Back next Friday for an endoscopy. Been told I've got to wait over 80 weeks for an urgent operation due to the COVID delays. This is why I thought we should have brought in 2 health services. One to get on with the business of the day and another one to attend to the pandemic. But maybe McClue's thinking's too far advanced for most people. What a wonderful, wonderful night tonight, guys. Just incredible. Scotty, Dinky-Doo, thank you very much. And thank you, Anita. What a lovely thing to say. There we are, very, very busy tonight. So much good feedback, guys. on the chat. And thank you very, very much for that. I can't believe what time it is. So there we are. We've got about another 5 minutes. Permission to land, absolutely, Andrew. Always permission to land. Scottie, she grazed her hand. I suppose it could have been worse. She could have cut her head open, which would have been a lot worse. Glenn, quite right. This is Glenn's mother. They are heading to Sandringham in the summer to celebrate with Her Majesty. Andrew, fantastic. I say, and love to the family. Good evening, Scottie, from Alex Robertson. So there you are. Yes, we probably would do the YouTube, I say to you. I liked Nick Berry. Yes, in Heartbeat. Fantastic. Hello, everyone. Evening, Scottie. Evening, and fantastic to you. I did do a bit of sharing. Sorry, Scottie, but the Sun News, in my opinion. Oh, don't you worry about that. I went to the doctor with wind. He gave me a kite. We love it. Hello from Helensburgh. Hello to you. And thank you very much to all our wonderful TikTokers tonight. There we go. As you see, I'm in a different room tonight. I've moved around. And my goodness, it's warm in this place. I can't tell you. So that's why I've had to keep giving myself a wee dab. A wee dab down with the lights. But the lights are nothing to the old television lights that we used to have to deal with. I can't tell you. Your calls certainly cheer me up, says Chris. I really enjoy tuning in. I think everybody does, Chris. I think this is the strength of what we're doing. People are loving tuning in. Fantastic stuff. It's already into mid-afternoon, so I'm not sure you're not already taken for the holiday. All my love for Scotland. Anita, all our love for you in California. How amazing is that? We love it. There we go. Lots and lots of quality chat tonight. Anybody wants to give us a quick call? We could probably squeeze one in. I say to you, there we are. Fantastic. And I've been sharing on my other device tonight, which is amazing. There we are. Thank you very much for joining us. If you're joining us on TikTok, make sure you get following, guys. Very, very important. If you're on YouTube, and a lot of you have done it tonight, which is outstanding. I feel even more humble than usual. You've subscribed to the Scottie McClue, the internet phone in. Sensational show this evening, Scottie. David, I thank you very much. Very, very much appreciated. Lindsay's just joined us. Great show, says you rouser. You rouser, fantastic. It's such a privilege to be with you guys on a Saturday night, even just for a quick hour. And remember, of course, look at all the YouTube videos, look at all the TikTok videos, and remember that they're all for you. So watch them, like them, share them, tell 10 to tell 10 to tell 10. We're building all the time across the internet, and that is fantastic stuff. And across the world, I notice. Do you know that over 7% of my viewers are in America? So we can only assume that either the Scottie McClue program is very good or the stuff in America is not so good. I think I'll come to America and do all your late night radio and television, the Scottie McClue show, just for you saying Dinky-Doo. There we are. Now, hello, it's Neil in Paisley, the Paisley Buddy in Bournemouth. Neil, fantastic. I hope that your sister is okay, and I hope you're okay and enjoying all your wonderful folk singing and music making. That's what it's about, I say to you. Can't believe the time we're going to have to dash, guys. But it's been such a privilege being with you this evening, and for that I say thank you. Lots more to come. We'll do lots of... I hope you're enjoying the random pop-ups on YouTube and TikTok. Who have we got here? Hello, you're live at Scottie's phone in. Who's that?
Scottie, when I say cut me off, I was only joking. I didn't mean actually.
Oh, I thought you didn't cut off because you thought I've run out of crack here.
No, I had one more point to make that I didn't get to say.
All right, well, just before you say it, fit like a day for 2 Aberdonians in London. What about that, eh? Fit like...
Very good.
No, what are you going to say then? I didn't realise. I thought you were begging to be cut off.
No, I wasn't. Scotty, I was going to ask you, what's your opinion here about comedians? Like, if they have a notice saying if you're easily offended, then stay away. Now, telly stations, they do the same thing. If a programme contains strong language or anything like that, they give you notice with the option to stay away.
Yes.
Now, how come this can be a career-ending activity for comedians, but yet telly stations, then they get shut down if they go ahead and...
I don't think, as a comedian, I don't think people should be allowed to be offended. Remember, and I have to make sure I get this right, because I'm not sure I got it right the last time. You cannot give offense. It has to be taken.
Understood.
Right? So somebody has to go, I went along last night to see Jimmy McCwackle, the comedian. Right?
Right.
And I was very offended by what he said. So I stayed to the end, and I'm going to write a strong letter. If you don't like it, then you walk out.
Do you know who's to blame for this? That old wifey that used to campaign in the...
I can, now wait a minute, Mary Whitehouse.
Aye.
Now they should have shown her the door.
She started all this.
Yes, they gave her too much airtime. They allowed her on the telly and the radio because she was quite good entertainment. But they should have shown her the door and said, well, you don't need to do it. Comedians have walked this tightrope for years, going back to Max Miller.
Well, you know why nobody filled Mary Whitehouse's shoes after she left?
Go on.
Because everybody wanted to see the filth on the telly that she was campaigning.
Well, of course they do. You know, they go on about it. It's the same with the tabloids. People used to say, there's a lot of filth in that, but they still bought it.
Well, I'll tell you, Scotty, I'll tell you, see...
Beachy Beaches just sent me 30 TikToks. Is that not beautiful?
Aye, but listen, they should ban page 3, and I'll tell you why. See, on a windy day at the petrol station, the covers are blown open, and page 3 is getting flashed to all the school rooms that are out for their dinner.
Right, well, see this cancel culture? They should make it, if you're going to cancel somebody, then there's going to be a very, very hefty payment to that person.
Well, I see your point, because as I say, it can be career-ending, because
and nobody has the right to have their career disturbed by stuff that they've said on a public platform, you know, and that's there for the public. They haven't crossed the line. So in other words, they haven't said anything that they shouldn't have said. You know, I mean, if you did something that was so deeply offensive, like using a word that you'd crossed a line, then, you know, you've got to work out, was that accidental? Was it meant? What was the intent? Blah, blah, blah. But you can't mix going to somebody's work with something that they've said as a comedian.
Right, Scotty.
You know, there shouldn't be any of that. And if they've chosen that as their career, they will, you know, live or die. Like SCOTTIE McCLUE has always accepted applause or derision on his merits.
Aye, but listen, is there any point that a comedian should have a notice saying if you're easily offended, stay away? Because it doesn't seem to have any...
No, but listen, let's have it straight. Human nature. If you put up a sign, if you're easily offended, stay away, you're just going to sell more tickets.
Well, as I say, Scotty, the telly does the same thing. Then you watch this programme if you're easily offended.
Yes. It's like when a programme comes in the telly and they say there will be scenes of an adult nature and there will be strong language from the start. Virtually every human being goes, oh, right, well, maybe if we look at this then.
I'm just looking for something to complain about, Scotty.
That's what it's about. Anyway, we'll be getting complained about if I don't go. Dinky-Doo la.
Cheery bye.
Lovely to hear you. That's Numpty Heat, and I think that's quite right. Night, Numpty Heat, says JD. Speak next Saturday night. Hello from Blair Hall, Scotty. As long as you get your TikToks, we will do. Lovely to hear from you guys. I'm going to dash off now. TikTokers, I love you. Thank you for everything. There we are. That's our TikTokers have gone. our beautiful TikTokers, and we love them. And now it's time for me to say ta-ra lads to our beautiful YouTubers. Thanks very much for subscribing tonight. It's wonderful, and we will catch up very soon. From me, Scottie McClue, and from everyone around the world, we say to every single one of you, Dinky-Doo and ta-ra lads!